Sometimes in life we have to say goodbye to things we've come to love. Not in this case though. There are rumours going around that the worst TV show, the worst piece of journalism ever to exist in my country, The Project, the far left-leaning program, The Project, could be cancelled, done, removed from the air because no one watches it anymore. There are rumours circulating that this poor excuse for journalism, this most painful TV show, this grotesque display of heinous individuals, which is owned by CBS and Paramount Pictures, is on the way out. And I, personally, couldn't be happier. And I imagine you're the same. We've had a long-running affair with The Project. And if you're not from Australia, maybe you don't know about The Project. Well, let me give you a bit of a comparison. Imagine the show The View, but with dudes. Sometimes. That's The Project. It has provided myself and this channel many amazing moments over the years. I've created probably 10 videos on The Project over the last 6 years, and I want to thank them for that, for the content. It's been fun. I've appeared on The Project, I've made fun of The Project, I've hated The Project, I've ridiculed The Project, and so have you in the comment section, and I just want to take this opportunity to tell everyone at The Project to get fucked. So I thought this was a fantastic example to really just, the coffin's there, let's add some fucking nails, shall we? Let's look back at the most heinous parts of this fuck TV show over the past 6 years or so. To begin, we travel back 5 years ago. Oh, remember the memories? What was 5 years ago? iPod shuffles and shit? No, it was 2019. Doesn't seem that long ago. Anyway, there was a horrible story with a young lady who was attacked in a Melbourne park. She was brutally assaulted. I don't want to say the R word, but brutally assaulted. And she was also murdered. It was horrific, horrible. Now, there was a crazy dude who did it. Extremely autistic, crazy man. Not that all autistic people are crazy, but there was a crazy dude that did it. Horrible person. She was murdered. Now, who did The Project blame for this? Well, they decided to blame everyone with a penis. And this is before women could have penises, all right? So everyone with a penis was to blame. And here's Lisa Wilkinson, who at the time left another TV show for more money because she wasn't being paid as much money as her male counterpart, who was much funnier than her and much better than her. But anyway, whatever. Here's Lisa Wilkinson with her amazing take on how to stop women being attacked.
This might upset some people, but honestly, parents, instead of telling our girls not to walk through parks, maybe we should be telling our boys not to rape them.
Girls, don't worry about being safe out there in the wild because we should all feel safe. I hate that attitude. I hate it with a passion because yes, we all should feel safe, but that's not reality. And teaching people that they should feel that way is ridiculous. Now, as for the men out there, if we see dangerous behavior from our friends or people we know, we should call it out and we should stop it. And if you're one of these people, you should get help. But blaming boys and the parents of boys for something that they haven't done doesn't help anyone. It doesn't fix any problems. If anything, it just makes young boys feel like they're outcasts, like they've done something wrong. And that's a terrible lesson for young men. I'm talking kids kids who are 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, learning that they're bad people and there's nothing you can do about it. What a terrible lesson. Now, here's a question. Do young men play a role in violent attacks on women? No. No, they don't. Why the fuck would you teach them not to R-word women? That is ridiculous. I know obviously we need answers and we need to stop this, but telling young boys to stop is not, it's fucking not gonna help. What it is it's taking a real issue and it's coming up with a fix that's not gonna fix anything and putting all of your energy into that. It doesn't help. Yes, teach young boys respect and that violence is terrible and all that shit, but you're not gonna get through to the ones that matter. And in this case, the bad ones. You're not going to get through to them because they're bad people. It starts with things they see and things they experience, and maybe they're just bad eggs. But sitting every young boy down and telling them not to R-word women is fucking crazy. And thank you to The Project for bringing this horrible attitude to light. Thank you for making young boys the enemy. That's real helpful. Anyway, they've attacked other people as well, not just young boys. Joe Rogan was someone that they love going after, and they've done that numerous times.
Which during the pandemic includes giving anti-vax campaigners a platform. one of the most qualified people in the world to talk about vaccines.
Spruiking horsewormer ivermectin as a COVID treatment.
But what's crazy is look how better I got.
Yeah.
I got better pretty quick, bitch.
I think one of the challenges with podcasts like Joe Rogan's is a lot of the listeners are caught in this cycle of propaganda appearing to be news, and they're in a misinformation loop that they can't get out of.
So this week, Neil Young decided to take on the streaming behemoth.
Spotify has a responsibility to mitigate the spread of misinformation on its platform. I want you to let Spotify know immediately today that I want all my music off their platform. They can have Rogan or Young, not both.
Spotify picked Rogan.
When I say something stupid, I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say before I say it. I'm just saying it.
Earlier this month, more than 1,300 scientists and medical professionals signed an open letter, also calling on Spotify to stop the Rogan experience.
Okay, I'll be very careful with what I say here because there's certain conversations you can't have on YouTube. They went after Rogan a lot during a certain illness that was going around, and he was using a certain treatment for that certain illness that they didn't think was appropriate with their medical knowledge. Now, the thing is, Joe felt a whole lot better after he used that medical treatment. That medical treatment is relatively safe. And they just decided to make him a fucking patsy and go hard after him and treat him like an idiot. And a lot of the things that they attacked in that video, that's from 2002 or whatever it was, they are now, the things that they said were so ridiculous and so outrageous that Joe had said are now fact. They're now accepted mainstream fact that they talk about on their own show. For example, the V word and certain injuries that happen, and all of these other things that are now out there in the mainstream news. Take, for example, Ivor, and I'm going to leave a little space here so I don't get taken down from YouTube, Mectin. They laughed at that back then. They said it was ridiculous that humans would take this. Now, the FDA in America, the biggest fucking drug association in the entire world, just settled a lawsuit because they talk so much shit about it. And they're basically saying that we're sorry, we were wrong. Very, very interesting. And from the project being just flat out disingenuous pieces of shit, they've also lied to Australians. Here is a clip that they played of our former Prime Minister, our president, so to speak, Scott Morrison, ScoMo, when he was approached by an old lady in we were having these really bad fires and all of these people were coming together, and she was approached and she was caught on camera saying this.
Jackie, this is the Prime Minister. It's not much, bro.
Now I know that doesn't sound like much, but imagine someone going up to Joe Biden as he, leaves the dementia center or whatever, and someone says, "You're not my president." And they play that all over the news. It's a big deal. The problem with all of that is, it wasn't the full clip. There was a whole lot more that they didn't play. And this is a news program that they didn't play, and then they were forced to apologise.
Jackie, this is the Prime Minister. It's not much, bro.
Now, we need to make a correction in relation to that clip. It turns out that there was a longer exchange between Jackie and the PM that followed that, where she explained that she was in fact a UK citizen and that's why ScoMo was not her PM quote. The problem for us is that significant parts of that were inaudible, so we couldn't actually deduce what was in that exchange.
Ah, yes. So you attacked a political party with your gotcha journalism, and then you were forced to apologise because you're full of shit. Over a long time, you've forged this narrative. Great work. But what else have you lied about? That's an interesting question. But it does make so much sense now why your ratings are absolutely tanking. Sometimes this show that is on mainstream TV here in Australia at prime time only gets 250,000 viewers. I got plenty of videos that get that. And I'm one dude. On top of that, all your fucking hosts get paid $1.5 million a year. Hey YouTube, where's my dosh at? And it won't surprise you, ladies and gents, will it, that if they hate Joe Rogan, they've also got to hate Elon Musk.
Already users have reported a sharp spike in misogyny and transphobia. And one analytics group saw a 500% rise in the use of the N-word in the first 12 hours of Musk's reign.
Elon Musk, who stands for free speech above all else. I couldn't imagine why the project, who's owned by a multi-billion-dollar company, would hate free speech. Interesting. Ah, yes, free speech. It's no laughing matter. But you know what else is no laughing matter? Jokes by certain people on this show. And there was a comedian that went on the show and told a joke about Jesus, and the project basically cancelled that person.
I think it's hilarious when someone messages me and says, you have to accept Jesus' love or you will burn in hell, because I love Jesus. I love any man who can get nailed for 3 days straight and come back for more.
I like it. It's a good joke. I don't give a shit, all right? Who fucking cares? And if you are offended by that, then you're a weak person. You don't belong on this channel if you're offended by things that attack religious figures. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what you hold holy in your heart or who you have special in your world. If you are offended by any joke, you're a weak piece of shit and you're not welcome here. Lighten the fuck up, all right? That's my basic, that's what I'm trying to say here. What was the project's response to that quick little quip though? The one that they all laughed at? This.
During an interview last night, our guest told a joke which we know was deeply and needlessly offensive to many of you. We want to acknowledge the particular offence and hurt that caused our Muslim, but especially our Christian viewers. We wouldn't knowingly broadcast it, of course. We acknowledge the offence that it caused, but more than that, we're sorry.
Hang on a second. You laughed. Look at your reaction here. You're having a wonderful time. You think it's all fine, and then you go back and apologise? Once again, disingenuous. You found out that people were mad at that and then you decided that you needed to apologise. That is what is also known as a lie. You throw the poor dude in drag under a bus or float, probably in this situation. You don't give a shit about him. You don't care what happens to his career. You don't stand up for him. Comedy is comedy, all right? I've said that 1,000 times. It doesn't matter if you're making fun of Muslim people, Christian people, Jews. Make fun of everyone. But I'll just say this. Comedians that have been on the project, you're all shit. You all suck. Fuck you. I alluded to this before. There was a time where I was actually on the New Zealand version of the project that is now cancelled, which is good. And I was on it because Facebook had told me that a video that I made making fun of New Zealanders, saying that they get fucked by sheep, no, that they fuck sheep, same, was actually racist.
Well, joining us now is the Aussie comedian himself. Mate, I can't believe you got banned from Facebook. Are they being too sensitive or did you actually go too far? What's your take?
What a world we live in. It's an absolute disgrace. These were polite jabs at the beautiful country of New Zealand. I've had so much support from New Zealanders saying they loved it. It was just fantastic. So Facebook, Zuckerberg, I don't know what you're talking about. Calm down.
That was very fun to be on that show. That was my first introduction to the media. I think it was like 2018. 6 years ago. Fucking, I have been doing YouTube for a long time. My God.
I think the world's got to harden up, yes, but I'm with Facebook on this one. Facebook is not like going to the classic, the commentary. It's not a comedy forum. It's social media, and I don't think it is the place to put this stuff. If you go to watch a comedian and you don't like them, well, you've gone to watch them. Don't be offended. But anyone can get anything on Facebook. It's
It's a public place, isn't it?
I wouldn't be that pumped if one of my friends shared one of his sweary McSweary videos.
Sweary McSweary videos. How about you fuck off? I think I'll stick to what I said there. Fuck off, mate. But to bring this video home and really hang my hat on their rigor mortis ridden corpse, let's never forget how complicit they were in a lot of different things during a certain illness. But we won't go into that, on YouTube anyway. But also when it comes to free speech of Australians and for the ability for Australians to speak their mind. They ate that shit up. When the former Liberal government here in Australia, which is the right-wing party in Australia, it's backwards for some reason here in Australia, when they tried to pass a bill about online trolls or some fucking bullshit, the project loved it. They lapped it up. And what this bill meant was that if you posted something on Facebook that could be considered defamatory, that not only could you be sued for defamation, but so could Facebook. And this led to this problem where if Facebook's there dealing with all these legal cases here in Australia, why would they let Australians post anything anyway? That's just a massive headache for them. The government wanted to put this out and the project loved it. They ate it up.
These places are cesspits of like horrible behaviour.
Yeah.
And that clearly the platforms themselves just have not been willing to address it. Sometimes you do have to regulate when these places won't sort it out for themselves.
Yeah, so it's a step in the right direction.
Sometimes you just really need to infringe on people's right to speak their mind, don't you? Well said. Well said. Jolly good. To wrap this video up, the project never gave a shit about any of us, so why should we give a shit about any of them? Fuck them to the moon. Be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Me dick stinks. Toodaloo au revoir. Bye-bye.